However, got to look at Bo Bichette the other day. Running the bases, if you want to call it running, not good at all for Blue Jays fans. A tough look. The shortstop was running the bases visibly in some form of discomfort. Jays manager Josh Schneider said Bichette did have some batting practice. He was not on the roster for the ALDS series against the Yankees after suffering that knee injury against the Bronx Bombers during the regular season. We should find out in just a matter of seconds if he is in the lineup. That's when the Blue Jays have to let Major League Baseball know who will be playing in the ALCS. First pitch just after 8. For more on this, we're joined by TSN radio host Matt Cauz. Hey there, Matt. First of all, how was the arm wrestling? Good?
Yeah, thank you. The arm wrestling went well yesterday at Henderson Brewery. It was a good day, and I won all my arm wrestling matches as long as there's no video footage of the event.
I know. I think we were a bit tied up. We probably should have sent a camera crew. I think Andrew Brennan, our reporter, would have liked going there. Yeah. But let's talk about this game. I haven't seen the roster release as of yet. I'm looking. It's supposed to be as of 10. I don't know if the beat reporters at some point will release it. But what are your thoughts seeing, Bo Bichette running the bases? Not well, to be honest. Kind of looking like a dad out there in rec league. What are your thoughts on whether he's going to make the roster along with, the likes of Chris Bassett, Max Scherzer?
Yeah, I think I'm more interested in what Chris Bassett and Max Scherzer, if they'll be there, because I don't think the Jays can do a bullpen game for game 3 or for game 4. Here's the main thing I'll say about Bo Bichette, because we're all waiting to see. The good news is the Blue Jays offense has been so good without Bo Bichette, which is not a knock on him. He led the team in RBI and in hits. It's more of a compliment to guys like Ernie Clement, like Addison Barger. Look what the Jays did to close out the regular season, winning their final 4 games, and then beating up on the Yankees. Just the ERA of the Yankees was somewhere around 8.5, 9, which shows that the Blue Jays offense is just in a hot streak right now. If they can continue what they're doing, they don't need Bo Bichette at the moment, which again is a tip of the cap to the Blue Jays' depth and the fact that they don't strike out much. And, from 7, 8, 9 hitters are doing their job as well. But Nathan Lucas, we can go on and on all the heroes that have appeared for the Blue Jays.
Yeah, we're just seeing Ernie Clement there in game 4. He was on fire, absolute fire. Humble brag, I was in the clubhouse and I asked him that day, what did you have for breakfast? He didn't even know. He's so dialed in right now. But the Seattle Mariners, we do know they're going to be putting out Bryce Miller out there against Kevin Gausman. How do you think he's going to match up with these Toronto Blue Jays bats? As we said, top, bottom of the order, everyone can hit.
Yeah, now we'll say on the front end, baseball is weird. Anything can happen. But if we're just going on the odds, this is a great matchup for the Toronto Blue Jays. Bryce Miller, who had a very good 2024 season, this year has been poor, an ERA well over 5. He wasn't great in the playoffs in the Game 4 loss to the Detroit Tigers. The Jays faced him once. It was much earlier in the season, in May, and the Jays beat him up and chased him out. The Jays actually swept Seattle in Seattle, but again, that's May. This is a different Mariners team. This is a different Blue Jays team. But because Seattle had to use 3 starters in that 15-inning game to eliminate the Tigers on Friday night, Toronto gets a great advantage, kind of like they did in Game 1 against the Yankees last Saturday. Toronto is in an excellent position. Kevin Gausman's rested. The bullpen is rested. And they'll be facing maybe the 5th best starter on the Mariners later tonight.
And I got to ask, I know baseball's all about analytics and numbers, but you got to also think emotionally, physically with the Seattle Mariners team. I read that their plane was delayed, so I don't even know if they had a workout in. Mind you, the climate right now in Toronto reminds me of the Pacific Northwest. I don't know if you're at the cottage or you're somewhere else, but, it makes me wonder emotionally. Physically, they're drained. There's no doubt. Maybe they're running on adrenaline game 1. I think the exhaustion will kick in game 2, but just getting to the ALCS for the Mariners. I know they're professionals, but they're trying so hard, almost 30 years to make it to the ALCS. And now they're there. Do you think maybe emotionally they're just kind of spent?
I think there could be a bit of a letdown. And by the way, if it looked weird when I turned for live TV, I am in downtown Toronto. I can give a weather report and a traffic report. The Gardner's moving very well east and west around Parliament. And yes, this weather does look like Seattle right now. Hopefully it gets better. But no, you're right. Seattle's never been to a World Series. I don't know how much of that history can weigh down on a franchise the way we see with the Toronto Maple Leafs. But yeah, this is a big deal for Seattle, who came into the league the same time as the Blue Jays did in 1977. The Jays have been to 2 World Series. They've won 2 World Series. This is undiscovered country for the Mariners. And you do wonder, will today be exhaustion, or will it be them sort of just still riding the high? Like, that's the crazy thing about baseball, is we could talk about momentum, but I don't think we'll know until the end of the first inning. I am fascinated.
Yeah.
I'm fascinated to see, what does Seattle look like in this game later on tonight?
Yeah, for sure. Yeah, it's not like they're running a marathon. They're playing baseball, right? It's not like a collision sport. So, yeah, it'll be very interesting to see how they do all this. But, yeah, it's not weird looking to the side. I routinely get caught looking at the gigantic TV to my left, especially if I were working the Game 1 ALCS in the studio. I'd definitely be caught a couple times looking over.
Yeah.
But yes, glad to see traffic and weather is good, because we don't have that right now. So Thank you. Appreciate that. Freelance, Matt Cauz, traffic, weather, but also sports, TSN Radio. Thanks so much. Appreciate it.
Absolutely. And if you need any wine recommendations for Thanksgiving, I'm here as well for you.
So do I go red with turkey, or do I go white?
Yeah, no, you could do like a full-bodied white, a Chardonnay, slightly oaked, and yeah, absolutely Pinot Noir. I would go with Niagara 2020 big vintage, 21 more of a classic cool climate vintage. So I would go with Niagara, Chardonnay, and Pinot Noir for all your Thanksgiving needs.
Perfect. And then pivot to a lager for the game.
Yeah, absolutely. You got to, it's a long game. You got at some point you need something with a much lower ABV, especially if you're working tomorrow. I know the hours for you guys. That's an early wake up.
Yeah, I know. They actually gave me Thanksgiving Monday off, but it's all right. But I have kids, so it doesn't matter. It doesn't matter. I'm up at 5:30. Anyways.
Enjoy that. Enjoy the Carolina Panthers against the Cowboys.
They're going 3-3. I feel it. All right, Matt Cauz. We did ALCS preview, NFL Week 6, and we made fun of the Leafs. It's the best. All right, thanks so much.